Okay, this show is called The Practical Coach, so I'm going to try to be the totally practical host. I'm going to jump right in and assume that if you're sitting there watching this, you're some kind of manager or team leader or somebody who has to get a bunch of other people to keep doing what they do well. And if that's true, I'm going to assume two things about you. Number one, you're a very busy person, so I promise I'm not going to waste a lot of time. And number two, you think it's fun to look at really big charts. And have I got one for you. Check this out. You recognize it? Well, you should. This is your life. See? There's all your goals over here, your relationships, your career, everything. And you've got your own measure of success over here based on how close you've come to reaching your goals. But check out your path over time. You're up, you're down. What's this here? You're all over the chart. Well, apparently you weren't afraid to try a few things. Anyway, it looks like you're still moving in the right direction towards your goals, and that's good. Nice work. But here's a question for you. Take a good hard look back at the ups and downs and loops in your life, the dead-end roads you took. Do you remember? So what turned you around? Well, chances are somebody was there for you. Somebody cared about you. Maybe somebody got honest with you. Now, to complete your chart, we really need to add another line. Let's call it your coach's line. All the special people who've helped or taught you. Maybe they just came in and out of your life for a little while. An encouraging word just when you needed it. A second chance to do it right. Or maybe they just gave you a chance in the first place. They believed in you. And for the most part, they let you choose your own path. They showed you a few shortcuts along the way and tried to steer you away from most of the dead ends. There may be people on your coach's line who have no idea that they helped you. But you remember them, don't you? We all owe those people in our lives a lot. Well, guess what? Now it's your turn, because this chart could also represent the lives of the people you lead at work. In their world, you're right there on the coach's line, moving alongside them, watching their ups and downs. And what you choose to say and do on a daily basis can have a major impact on their world. Major. And that's a big responsibility. But I'm here to tell you that if you take it on, it could be the single most rewarding thing you do at work. Now, I need to say that one more time. If you get serious about coaching, it could be the single most rewarding thing you ever do at work. Maybe even in life. Why? Because you'll matter. You'll have an impact on your world. And isn't that what we all want? From the day we're born, we want our actions to affect our world. The people you lead are no different than you. They need to know that what they do matters to you. And that's what coaching is all about. It's that simple. Coaching is the process of letting people know that what they do matters to you. So in the next few minutes, we're going to look at 3 different ways and 3 different times you need to do that. When you see someone doing great work, when you see someone doing poor work, and when you see someone on a dead-end road. Well, it gets more complicated as we go along, so let's start with the easy stuff. The good work.
Night.
Good night, Stefan.
Maybe I need to set up the scene a little better. All right. Stefan came in early so he could help put up displays before the store opened. He worked through his first break, and he only took 12 minutes for lunch because they were 2 people short. He did 3 special orders perfectly, and he just missed the last express bus home because he stayed to help with the stock check. Okay, now watch it again.
Good night.
Good night, Stefan.
Do you think he'll work that hard tomorrow? Well, I wouldn't. But he's a good guy. He'll show up on time, he'll do what he's told, and he'll go home. Or at least until he finds another job where his hard work matters to somebody. Now let me show you the secret of keeping a good worker like Stefan. You have to open your mouth. Stefan's next boss was much better at that.
Hey, Stefan, great job today.
Now there's an open mouth.
I think we must have set some kind of record. I want you to know, I really appreciate all those little things you do around here. You know how to use your head, and I like that. You wouldn't believe some of the losers we've had. So anyway, keep up the work, okay?
Unfortunately, as nice and as rare as it is to get any kind of slap in the back, Stefan has absolutely no idea what specifically he did right. But at least this coach was trying. Stefan knew that without a shadow of a doubt that at the end of the day, his hard work mattered in some great, big, giant, vague way. And that's a start. We'll take that. But why not spread it throughout the day? That's the secret of coaching good work. When you see it, say it.
Have that in stock. Well, thank you. Oh, thanks for calling pencil pushers. All right, bye-bye.
You got a nice sort of smile in your voice when you're on the phone. Where'd you learn that?
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. There you go. Hopefully that paper works out for you. Thanks a lot. Receipts in the bag.
Nice job. I like how you suggested extra paper to that customer. It saves him another trip.
Thanks. Oh, hi. Night.
Good night, Stefan. Hey, thanks for filling these out so completely. It really helps me out.
No problem. See you tomorrow.
See you then.
Do you think Stefan had any doubts about what he did right that day? He went home feeling great. And what did the coach get out of it? Well, good work that gets noticed, gets repeated. So remember, never let good work go unnoticed. When you see it, say it. Unfortunately, good work doesn't last forever. Everyone has downs as well as ups. And when you're a coach, it's just as important that you never let poor work go unnoticed.
Yes, but unless I have a specific date or billing number, Ma'am. What I'm trying to tell you, if you will just listen to me for a second, is that I have no way of helping you unless I... Hello? Goodbye.
Robin,
Yeah.
please tell me you don't talk to all of our customers like that.
No.
The conversation I just heard is completely unacceptable.
You didn't hear her language. She was screaming
I
at me.
can't do anything about her attitude. What I'm concerned with is yours.
Would you want to be corrected in front of your friends? Not likely. So don't do it to the people you coach. The idea of when you see it, say it only works when you're coaching good work. And when you're coaching poor work, the trick is to make it private and make it positive. First thing, get them alone or at least away. The sooner the better, but make sure it's private. Now the hard part, making it positive. Correcting poor work in a positive way is much more of an art than it is a science. There's no magic formula. It's all about good judgment and caring. In fact, let's be real clear about something right now. If you don't actually care about the person you're coaching, good luck. They can tell. At best, you might get away with some old, worn-out management technique.
So, Sandy, what I hear you saying is that you feel our company would be better off without customers.
Most people can smell management technique a mile off. So when it comes to making things positive, an honest check of your own attitude might be the best place to start. Are you correcting things for their success or yours? Are they doing it wrong or just differently than you would? Are you angry or irritated? If you're not in a completely positive frame of mind, stop and wait until you can be. Then proceed with caring.
Hello? Goodbye.
That call sounded like a rough one. Are you doing okay?
Yeah, I guess.
Remember, a good coach is willing to let the learner choose their own path. So be careful not to jump in with all the answers, just jump in with a few questions.
So how do you think it could have gone better?
When you feel like saying, here's what I think, stop, take a deep breath, and ask them, what do you think?
Well, she's bound to call back. What are you going to say?
I'm not sure.
It's amazing what you'll hear if they think you're really listening. And of course, what do you do when they come up with a great solution? Never let good work go unnoticed. When you see it, say it.
Robin, I think that's exactly right. Just let her vent for a while, until she is ready to listen.
But what if they don't have the answers? Well, at that point, a tip or shortcut or some practical advice from you can do wonders.
Well, sometimes I'll say something like, "Let me know how I can make this right for you."
Whatever you offer, make it simple, positive, and totally practical. At times, you'll find that they might need a little more training, or maybe they never knew what was expected in the first place.
Actually, this would be a good time to practice the call right now.
And be patient if it takes them a couple of tries to get things right. They'll learn more from a few of their own mistakes than 100 of your words. Like they say, the only true failure is the failure to try. If they're making mistakes, it means they're trying. And trying hard is exactly the kind of good work that you should never let go unnoticed. Don't be surprised how often your team members can work out their own problems, if you just ask the right questions. Of course, there's another set of problems that most of us are completely blind to. Our habits. We bring them to work with us every day, and good or bad, they matter as much as our work.
How's it going?
Pretty good. Most of the inventory's up to date, but I've got a list of stuff they forgot. Do you want to go over it now?
No, we'll do that later today.
Okay.
Now, I don't know how to tell you this. Are you aware that you have a very strong aroma?
What?
An odor. A body odor. Well, I need you to take care of it. All right?
Yeah. I guess.
Great.
When you're forced to coach one of your team members on a poor personal habit, your best coaching habits can fly out the window. So let's take it one step at a time. Of course, make it private and make it positive is more important than ever. But when things get personal, how you bring up the subject in the first place sets the tone for the entire discussion.
Hey, Monica.
Hi, Marty.
Do you have a minute?
Sure. What's up?
Well, we need to talk about something that I feel fairly awkward in saying, and I think you'll probably feel just as awkward hearing.
I think it's safe to say that when someone hears that kind of sentence, they know that whatever is coming next is bound to be something very personal. And that's good. That way they have a chance to prepare themselves. That's the first secret to bringing up a personal subject. Prepare the team member. The next step? Don't beat around the bush. Be gentle, but direct.
There are times when the odor of your body is too noticeable.
That was direct. But did you hear the gentle part of that statement? There are times, not all the time, when the odor of your body is too noticeable. I mean, everyone has some kind of odor. Now memorize that sentence. There are times when the odor of your body is too noticeable. There are times when your perfume is too noticeable. There are times when your nose ring scares some of our customers. Whatever. If you prepare your team member and you're gentle but direct, once you've actually brought up the subject, the worst is usually over.
The odor of my body is none of your business.
On the other hand, sometimes it can just keep getting worse. This is probably a good time to talk about the whole issue of coaching sidetracks. For the most part, sidetracks are just the natural defense techniques that we all use. When we're uncomfortable, we try to change the subject. And when we're confronted, we might try denial. Or in this case, a counterattack. If you're doing your job as a coach, you're going to run into sidetracks. But remember, they lead nowhere. You can't win. So don't even start to go there. Just stay on track.
Monica, I don't mean to offend you. Now, what I'm asking is very simple. Starting tomorrow, unless there's a medical reason we haven't talked about, I need for you to show up every day without a noticeable odor. That's all that needs to happen. All right?
Gentle but direct. When you state both the problem and the solution.
Now, again, I apologize if I offended you in any way. That was not at all my intention. I brought it up because, well, it's my job, and because I want you to succeed.
Correcting poor work is never easy. And correcting poor habits is even harder. On both of you. But think about why you do it. If you didn't care, it wouldn't matter. It wouldn't be hard at all. Coaching means you care. Remember, it's the process of letting people know that what they do matters to you. So, you never let good work go unnoticed, and you never let poor work go unnoticed. But what do you do when one of your team members' path of progress starts looking something like this? When it becomes clear that they're on a dead-end road, you need to turn them around, or you're going to lose them. Meet Tony. This is the 4th time he's been late to work in the last 2 weeks. Meet Lori, Tony's boss. Guess what she's done 3 times in the last 2 weeks? Everything she can think of. She's mentioned, she's pleaded, she's yelled. Now, she's about to try something completely different. She's about to try the 2-minute challenge. It's a simple process that goes something like this. You state what you've observed. You wait for the response. You remind them of the goal. You ask them for the specific solution. And you agree together. That's it. Just 5 simple steps. But you can't skip any of them. And as simple as it may seem, when used by a caring coach, it becomes a powerful tool in turning poor work around.
Tony?
I know, I messed up. I'm sorry. It won't happen again.
So much for step 1. He already knows what's going on. She doesn't need to state the obvious. Wrong. Don't skip a step. Number 1, state what you've observed.
You're more than half an hour late.
Now, is that what she's really thinking?
No, I messed up.
I wonder.
It won't happen again.
It won't happen again? Come on, Tony. This is strike 4. I've never had someone try so hard to get himself fired.
Good for her. She didn't say that. She simply stated what she observed, not what she thought he was trying to get away with. Not how empty his promises were at this point. No editorial comment, just what she observed. That way, nothing but his behavior can become the issue.
You're more than half an hour late.
Step 2, wait for a response. No matter how long, don't move on without one.
I don't know what to say. You've been more than fair, and I really appreciate it. I feel like I let you down.
Do you recognize a potential sidetrack when you hear one? Even if Tony is completely sincere, his relationship with his coach is not the issue right now. He was late this morning. So, she stays on track and moves to step 3. She reminds him of the goal.
I need you here every single day, on time, no exceptions.
Absolutely, no arguments. On time, every day. That's exactly what I'm going to do.
That sounds like an agreement, but it's just another sidetrack. He can't wait for this to be over. But no solution has even been discussed yet. We still need step 4. Ask for a specific solution.
So, how are you going to make sure you're here on time?
Well, it just needs to be my top priority. I need to readjust things, do whatever it takes to get here, even before we open.
Good. What specifically are you going to do differently tomorrow morning, though, to make sure you're here on time?
Oh, I'm going to have to get going sooner, or, I don't know, you know what? I need to level with you. My wife and I are going through some things right now, and I'm not used to having my kid by myself. It's just going to take a little time to work out a schedule.
Finally, the truth. He's obviously having some trouble in his private life, and you need to be very sensitive to that. Everyone on your team has a complex life outside of work. They've all made adjustments to be there. So this is the moment of truth in more ways than one. And as a coach, what message do you send to the rest of your team if you hold one member to a different standard? It's not easy, but you need to proceed with caring.
I'm sorry to hear that, Tony. I hope things work out for you. Sounds like a lot of people are depending on you right now. I wish things were different, but we're in a similar situation here. We're depending on you as well. And we need you here on time every day, ready to do your part.
I know.
So, what exactly could you do differently tomorrow morning at home to make sure you're here on time?
As harsh as good coaching may seem at times, Lori isn't doing Tony or his family any favors if she lets him lose his job right now. So she's staying on track with the 2-minute challenge. She stated what she observed, she waited for a response, she reminded him of the goal, and she's asked again for his specific solution. What's left? Agree on the solution.
I'll ask my sister if she can get my boy to daycare. I'll work it out. Don't worry about it.
Oh, great. I bet she'd be happy to help out right now.
Yeah.
So, starting tomorrow morning, I can count on you.
On time, every day, you bet. Thanks.
No problem. Thanks for hanging in there. You're an important part of this team, Tony. And listen, I hope things work out for you at home.
Yeah, me too.
Well, that finally turned out okay, I think. We won't really know until tomorrow morning, will we? And that's where follow-up comes in. Follow-up is just another word for noticing. It's part of everything you do as a coach. Now, hopefully, Tony won't ever need another 2-minute challenge on being late, but he may need one on something else. No one stops needing a coach. That's how we grow. And remember, as large as that job may seem at times, it's all in the details. Sometimes all they'll need is a word of encouragement or some practical advice. Maybe a shortcut that someone once showed you. A little applause always goes a long way. And maybe at times they'll need someone to step right in front of them, stop them in their tracks, and remind them of how much better they can be. That's your job. You're their coach. You know what? In case you couldn't take notes, would you mind if we do a quick review right now, just so you can put some of this stuff to work tomorrow? Thanks. So to start with, what do you do when you notice good work? When you see it, say it. Be as specific as you can so your team member knows clearly what they did right and what they should keep repeating. And when you notice poor work, make it private and make it positive. Do a self-attitude check if you need to, but make sure they know you care. Then before you jump in with all the answers, jump in with a few questions. Let them try to choose their own path first and only offer advice that's simple, positive, and totally practical. When it comes to correcting poor habits, same thing applies. Make it private for sure and as positive as you can, but don't beat around the bush. Be gentle but direct when you're stating the problem as well as the solution. And of course, beware of defensive sidetracks. They lead nowhere, so don't go down those dead ends. And finally, what do you do when one of your team members is on a dead-end road? It's time for the 2-minute challenge. There's 5 simple steps. You state what you've observed. You wait for a response. You remind them of the goal. You ask them for a specific solution, and you agree together. Well, that's about it. Thanks for watching. Good luck and good coaching.